Here's the problem. In any business with at least two owners under the age of 50, there's almost a 40% statistical probability that one of them will die before they retire, and almost a 70% probability that one of them will be disabled before they retire. Of course, with more than three owners, the probability is even higher. But here's the real problem. If one of your business partners dies or is disabled by cancer, a heart attack, or a traffic accident, they are still entitled to the same share of your company's growth and profitability until you buy out their interest. But how much will you be obligated to pay for their share of the business? And more importantly, where will you get the money to buy them out? What's the solution? A legally binding contract between the partners stipulating the terms and conditions under which each of you agrees to be bought out if any one of you should die or be permanently disabled, even if one of the owners decides to retire or leave the company. The solution is an agreement made up of two parts. One, a fair and equitable valuation formula, and two, tax-free funding, provided by insurance coverage. The solution is an insured buy-sell agreement. Of course, the right time to discuss these issues, to ask questions, or make these decisions is before someone dies or becomes disabled, because it allows each owner or partner to assume the perspective of both a willing buyer and a willing seller, so that critical decisions are not made under duress. Here's how it works. First, with the help of your accountant, you and your partners agree on a valuation formula for your business. Next, your attorney drafts the agreement, which will include the valuation formula, the buyout conditions, the payment terms, and the source of funding. Of course, the most cost-efficient source of funding is with tax-free dollars from insurance coverage. So, while your attorney drafts the agreement, your insurance agent will underwrite each partner for the purchase price of their business interest based on the terms of the agreement. The cost to cover all the partners for both death and disability is typically less than 1% of the company's market value, but it will avoid the need to buy out a partner's interest with after-tax profits or the need to borrow the money and pay off the debt with interest. For example, James, Robert, and Tony were equal partners in a New York marketing firm, and they had a buy-sell agreement drafted and signed but never funded or insured. So when Tony died in a car accident, James and Robert did not have the money to buy out Tony's interest in the business. That's when Tony's wife Tina hired an attorney to negotiate a 7-year buyout from the quarterly earnings of the business. So not only did they lose their business partner, who was responsible for 1/3 of their revenue, but they also lost most of their profits for the next 7 years, paying off Tina with taxable dollars instead of the tax-exempt dollars they could have gotten if they had insured their buy-sell agreement. What's even worse is that the money they paid out to Tony's wife Tina was money they would have used to fund their own retirements. So ask yourself this: does it make sense to risk your company's profitability and your own income or retirement on the relatively high statistical probability that your business partner could die or become permanently disabled? And does it make good sense to neglect the obligation to fund or insure your buy-sell agreement? Or does it make better sense to agree on a valuation formula, as well as the terms and conditions under which each of you would be compensated for your ownership in the business, and to insure that agreement so that all your obligations are instantly funded, with tax-exempt dollars paid out at precisely the time the funding is required, and in accordance with the terms of the buyout?